You're watching Teng Tools Muscle Garage, the home of New Zealand's toughest muscle cars, hot rods and street machines. Muscle Garage is proudly brought to you by Teng Tools in association with Mount Shop, Maguire's and Niedercar. Coming up, we're back in the mainland to meet up with the guys and gals from Garden City Rodders and get ourselves lost in Ben and Rainey's eclectic and big collection in Waikuku. But it's the crew from Maguire's getting us underway. This week, they send us to Whangarei to check out Steve Walker's, we'll let him explain it.
A boosted airbag Galaxie. I don't know. Certainly not a daily, but probably could be. Yeah, it does go well, and it's got good street manners, so I wouldn't want the gas bill as a daily though, I don't think.
Steve knows his way around a car, these days bolting some serious stuff together as the owner of Mike's Engines in Whangarei. But it all started innocently enough.
As a kid, basically, Dad was a panel beater, and we had various wrecks and things to play with over home and over in Dargaville, and just got into it that way, really, mucking around in the shed on the farm and honing around. Yeah, it just grew on from there, and we just keep trying different things and looking at different cars, and you know, the Australian American cars is what I'm into and what we like. So yeah. Yeah, just happened to pop up. I'd sold a Mustang and a little bit down on getting rid of that, so jumped on the Craigslist straight away, and we were just sort of looking around and saw this over in LA. Just something a little bit different, and saw an opportunity with a different stance and, you know, nice and low, and wanted to try something with some turbos basically and do something a little bit different.
And calling an engine shop your own sure comes in handy when it was time to take the Windsor up a notch.
It's originally a little 289, it's the original motor. It's set up with a 302 crank and rods, some Speed Pro pistons, and we had some 351 Windsor heads, big chamber heads, get the compression down to about 8.5 to 1 for the boost, set up stainless valves, etc. and roller rocker set up and hydraulic flat tappet cam. Nothing too big and you know, just nice and streetable. Yeah, and then the T3 turbos, so it works really well. We tried to blow through Holly on it initially, and I was pretty keen to give the Phytech a go and have that set up, so that's actually panned out really well.
The Phytech EFI unit took charge as the brains behind the setup, locking out the dizzy and running timing in-house. The result? Road manners off boost as well as smooth power delivery when you jump on it. The car was set up with 6 psi to start, but 10 was deemed more appropriate for Steve's right foot.
Just a bit of wang, a good bit of fun, you know, and yeah, it's definitely not a race car or anything, but it certainly goes well. It's got a pretty cool little whistle cruising along, and certainly gets a bit of attention.
The Galaxie stance comes courtesy of a full air install. Originally bagged in the States, it quickly became apparent they have a very different version of done.
It was there, but we had to re-engineer a lot, re-engineer the rear end, the diff, to set up a RideTech triangulated link in the rear. It had a ladder bar set up, but just wasn't going to get legal. It's really drivable. It's very stable, doesn't roll around or rock around. It's I feel it's a lot better than stock. The triangulated link set up in the rear keeps it really stable and drives straight. You can load it up with people, and it's happy. It's still happy to drive, and it handles really well. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked with how the airbag setup's worked out.
With 450 horses on tap and stance to match, while the Ford might be a dream car for plenty of us, there's a CUDA project that holds a special place in Steve's heart, and fortunately for him, a special place in his garage as well. The Galaxie has moved on to a new owner since filming, and the cycle starts again. It seems some things never change.
No, not for me. I don't know if it ever will, but you know, there's other projects we've got going on as well, and you know, other vehicles that I'd like to do at some stage. So the last car, the Mustang, I thought it was going to be the car to keep, but it never eventuated. Things change and opportunities pop up, and I like to just trying different things. So yeah.
Okay, top of the north to the middle of the south now. Thanks to the team at Nidaka, we're in Christchurch to make friends with the guys and girls from Garden City Rodders.
Garden City Rodders, we're basically a bunch of guys that got together about 1971. The main interest is American cars, of origin and interest, and it's remained that way all the way through.
I find Garden City Rodders to be a nice, casual, laid-back club. Obviously, we have our executive and we deal with the constitutional stuff, but I'm celebrating my 20th year with Garden City this year, and I've always found it to be an extremely friendly and laid-back environment.
This is what we do. This is what, this is why we build these cars. Some of these guys that are here in this club here have been here since day dot, and they're still standing strong.
If you want to know anything, they're more than welcome. They've got a lot of knowledge. Engines, to gearboxes, to diffs, to getting a VIN for your car and how to go about it.
You have the support of all the others, source parts, bounce off ideas, and I think it's very much you need to stick together as a club.
Garden City Rodders first formed in 1970 and became affiliated to the New Zealand Hot Rod Association in '71 and is currently one of 14 NZHRA clubs in the wider Canterbury region. Closing in fast on their 50-year anniversary, the club is an active one and enjoys a pretty constant membership.
At the moment we're 52, we like to keep it there. It's just quite a good number to work with, eh?
It's all about socialising and as I say, a lot of the guys, their children are starting to come through the ranks now, and over the last 20 years I've pretty much watched them come from toddlers to car owners. It's brilliant, but for most people, I guess when you've been entrenched in a club for as long as a lot of us have, there's no question about where the loyalties lie.
We have actually a lot of women members as well, which is really good to have the support of the womanhood in the club, and the guys are very supportive of that as well.
And it would seem Garden City Rodders' 52 members are not averse to a bit of hot rod hoarding.
Together probably 315 odd cars. Of those there's only probably about 60 that are going and roadworthy, as you know, with the hobby.
But the cars aren't the secret to the club's 48 odd years.
It's definitely the camaraderie that keeps it all together.
To me, a hot rod club is as much a social thing as it is a car thing. It's a combination of both. Cars are about fun. They're not about, to me, they're not about sitting in the garage and just being looked at. They're actually to be used, and that's what the guys do. And the girls, sorry. Yeah, girls as well.
We've got a little bit of everything, a little bit of modern, a little bit of really old school, and then we've got the home builds, as you can see there. The standards of the cars in this club are very, very high.
If you've been paying attention, you'll recognise a few of these machines from previous episodes. The club boasts a few cars that wouldn't be out of their league on a magazine cover. But it's that variety that makes life interesting, and Garden City Rodders has that in spades, and we're not just talking cars here.
You do have other people's opinions. Your opinion may be different to somebody else's, and as you can tell by the cars, some don't like cars, don't like Fords, don't like Chevs, don't like rat rods, don't like coupes, don't like roadsters. But hey, we all love cars, and I don't care what you drive.
It's all part and parcel with the deal, isn't it? Everyone's got their own opinions. Everyone sort of admires the effort that you put in, probably more than anything, and support you, which is a good thing.
And there's a strength that comes in numbers.
As a hobby, we need to be together and support our hobby as a whole, working with government, make sure there's no legislation coming through that we're going to miss out on or get sort of stifle our hobby. So our numbers together need to be important.
That means keeping an eye on the future, a concept not lost on this lot.
Well, we try to promote the younger generation into the ethics of being a hot rodder. They build awesome cars. I think there's a variety of them that have a tendency to ruin that for them, and they all get put into that class. And it's something that we have to look at, because the generation of people, we're not getting any younger. So the younger generation have to follow us along, or we'll become antiques.
We grew up with these cars, and what's encouraging is when you see, you know, young guys getting into the old muscle cars and the old hot rods, to see them, you know, with the passion for the old American cars is really encouraging.
Some of those older guys have got a hell of a lot more knowledge than what you think, and give this a go and give that a go, and you think, oh yeah, well, I've never thought of that, you know, and that kind of knowledge, that's priceless knowledge, you know. I really admire them for that. It's great. And I hope to be one of them guys one day too, you know.
Amazing results, even at full sight.
You're back with Teng Tools Muscle Garage, proudly brought to you by Teng Tools, in association with Mount Shop, Maguire's and Niedercar. Right, we're back with the Garden City Rodders very shortly, but first, thanks to our mates at Mount Shop, we're shed raiding in Waikuku, checking out the collection of Ben and Rainey. As bugs go, they've got this one pretty bad.
I don't know, I've always been into cars right from the word go when I was quite young. Interested in things mechanical, like playing with lawnmowers, anything with a motor on it, even when I was a kid, and sort of just worked up from there.
It all started with the purchase of a 38 Chev at the age of 17. And well, it's pretty safe to say it hasn't let up since. This 2-acre block in North Canterbury is home to 3 large buildings, a few lean-tos, plus that boring practical stuff like an actual house to live in. But it would seem even that might not be enough.
Yeah, for some reason. The garages seem to shrink in the rain, I think. I suppose it's every boy's dream, isn't it, to sort of be able to do that, but it did sort of, I was fortunate it managed to sort of happen. I had this shed and I thought I'll never fill that up, and then end up building another one, and now that's full, so yeah.
It gets worse. Symptoms are manifesting themselves in other forms too. Did we say symptoms? We meant rooms. Whole rooms. But it's the full-size cars that got our attention. And there's plenty of them to keep it too. Big fins of the 50s are a recurring sight, but you'll spot a few staunch muscle cars amongst them. And just when you think you have Ben and Rainey all worked out,
people always ask you that, which one's your favourite? It's like they're all different. It's probably like asking someone what's your favourite kid. It's always different horses for different courses as well. Like some of them are quite comfortable and cruisy, like the Camaro's more of a sports car, it's quite firm and hard riding and that. It just depends what mood you're in or where you're going as to what you want to do. Like even like I said about the old black 58 there, like it's sort of rough as guts, but you can take it anywhere and leave it anywhere and have just as much fun with a car like that as you can with a shiny car.
The collection includes a few perennial favourites, can't blame them there, but the lineup's real common theme is that it's not common at all. There's a lot of stuff that's just plain rare. Take this 58 Chrysler 300D, a factory Hemi car. Or how about a 1927 Lee Francis? Willys Coupe? Check. Seen a 57 Dodge swept-side pickup before? No, neither had we. With much of the lineup being sourced on tin hunting holidays to the States, Ben revels in the chase. Word of mouth leads often taking him to small-town junkyards rather than just the big-time swap meets. But it seems this treasure is getting harder to come by.
Yeah, they're getting a bit thin on the ground. The old greenies over there, They're pretty keen to get rid of all that sort of stuff. So, and then there's a lot of interest around the world as well, like Sweden and Germany and that. They love all those Vin cars. So there's a fair bit of competition. And if their dollar's stronger, then they just pay the money and it's gone. Even the Americans are finding the same thing, I think.
Ben has a pretty good head start on most of us because he's a mechanic by trade, operating a garage in Kaiapoi for years before selling up to spend more time on his own stuff. That hasn't been a completely foolproof plan, as a bit of the work has followed him home, which does explain a couple of Fords that have snuck their way in. While there's a couple of exceptions, the majority of the USA finds come in like this: great bones, but a bit rough and ready. As such, Ben's skill set has grown to suit.
Years ago when I was quite young, did a bit of a sort of start of one of those panel-beater courses at Polytech and that sort of thing. And then like you watch some of the TV programs in America and you see some of the things that some of them do and you sort of think, geez, I could probably do that and just grab a bit of steel and have a go. And at the end of the day, if you make a bit of a hash of it, well, it's only a piece of steel. If it's that bad, you just have to start again.
And while you could affectionately refer to a few of the collection as oddballs, well, that's nothing. Ben and Rainey have earned something of a reputation for the weird and wonderful creations that have emerged from the workshop just in time for a little show held handily down the road, Muscle Car Madness.
Oh, just something different, just for a laugh, and like, everyone gets a lot of fun out of it. Where we camp and that, the whole campsite gets into it, like the Munster coach, everyone dressed up and all that sort of stuff. I've got a couple of other ideas of things I wouldn't mind doing, but it's just a matter of finding the right donor car is usually the problem. You see something and think, oh, I could do that with that. It's just, yeah, I enjoy the challenge, I suppose, more than anything of doing something. Same with an old car, like getting an old car that doesn't go and missing heaps of bits. I enjoy collecting those bits. I enjoy getting the car back together and going again, like saving it from the crusher sort of thing.
And with the El Camino getting road legal while we were on site, Ben has plenty more projects waiting for his attention. Probably enough to keep him going until he turns 200, but we wouldn't bet against something else turning up too, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, I have to stop.
Right, we've heard about the Garden City Rodders Club before the break. Now, thanks to Nidaka, it's time to check out some of the cars. We've seen a few of these before on this TV show. Luke's grim black-on-black 60 Impala is a previous feature car, and we poked the camera around his dad Harry's collection too. Claire's 56 Pontiac is a regular Muscle Car Madness highlight. The Garden City Rodders are a social bunch. Robbed of their club rooms of 18 years by the Christchurch earthquake, they're lucky to call Mark Bean's residence their base for now. But it's very much also about getting out and being active in their community.
Yeah, we try to be. Have we club social runs every now and again, join other clubs and all their anniversary runs and stuff, you know. We do like to have best represented club at other runs. We sort of try to aim that one, eh? It seems to work sometimes.
What better way to get today's lineup underway than with a chopped Galaxie?
It's a street machine, 1962. It's running a 427 side oiler, predominantly based around Bruce McLaren and Chris Amon out of GD40. That's Holman and Moody running gear. Does 12s on the quarter. I don't know, you get a car and you fall in love with it. I don't know whether I bought it because I love that car. Sometimes the cars that you really want aren't so easy to get a hold of. You go and put a bit of chrome on it and you do a wee bit at the beginning and then you get the bug, don't you? You know, and everything changed from there, and so out come all that, and then went the new, and then goes paint and panel, and after a while you've got a second house to drive around in. So it's a good car to drive, and it's a pleasure to show it to other people to enjoy as well.
Bought it in 2000 in Bakersfield, and it's been on the road for 13 years. In that time I have run the wheels off it. I've been to the beach shop twice, stripped it down in the shed with the help of my husband, painted it with the help of Shane Jameson, so fell in love with it and decided, yeah, that's me, let's do this project.
1948 Fargo, Canadian assembled Dodge from Ford Wellside, Ford guards, Maury steering wheel, Maury lights. It's got some Austin bits on it and some Chev bits on it and Falcon bits on it, you know. But yeah, it works.
It's a 1930 Model A Roadster. It's running a 327 Corvette motor, which is a late 60s motor. The body came in from the States probably 15 years ago, I suppose. The car was built 10 or 12 years ago. I've had it since 2013 and just sort of used it. I've done probably 30,000 Ks since then. If I go to the supermarket, it tends to get used. If I go somewhere else, it tends to get used. I don't take it to the Vintage Car Club very often because it tends to be frowned upon a tad. But yeah, just gets used, just a car. As you can see, it's been cleaned, or not.
That one there I found duck shooting one night on the Waia riverbed, and I was just standing there on dusk and I was taking a leak, looking in the scrub, and I thought there's an old car in there. So I bashed my way into the scrub and here it was sitting in there, and that was originally a 4-door car. So we got a hold of the farmer that owned the farm, and he says if you can get it out of there, you can have it. So it was a 1928 Chrysler 4-door, and now it's a 1928 Chrysler replica. It's running a 400 big block Chrysler. It's got a 727 trans behind that. The rear end is pretty much independent and it's an XR8. Drives really, really nice. It stops on a dime. It's got plenty of power. More power would be nice, it always is. But not hellishly comfortable on a long trip, but a lot of fun to drive.
The Garden City Rodders celebrate the Big 5-0 in 2021, making the club's diversity of cars and people work for them, and with the next generations coming through strong, it's one of those if it ain't broke, don't fix it type deals.
It'd be really boring if we all had the same cars. No, it's really good. It's a good mixture of people and cars and attitudes to things. And the good thing I like about the club is nobody asks what you do for a job really unless you volunteer it. You're just another car enthusiast, another hot rod enthusiast, and that's really neat. Just the way it should be.
Every week we're giving our viewers the chance to win a Teng Tools and Maguire's gift pack worth $250. Simply head to themotorhood.com and hit the Teng Tools Muscle Garage link. By entering our weekly draws at the end of the series, one lucky viewer will win a massive Teng Tools 622-piece automotive toolkit and 7-drawer workstation, a complete Maguire's car care pack, and a $500 mount shop voucher. The total value of this grand prize is nearly $6,000. Good luck, everyone. Teng Tools Muscle Garage was proudly brought to you by Teng Tools. Get organised. Mount Shop, undercar specialists. Maguire's, people who love cars love Maguire's. And Need a Car, the easy way to research and buy cars online.